What if the money system that you've been taught to trust is designed to keep you dependent and not free? What if the answer sits in a concept most people don't learn in their entire lives? Sit tight because this could change how you think about money forever. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Kristyn. I'm an authorized infinite banking practitioner. I help Canadian families and business owners reclaim control over their money, create financial peace, and live the abundant lives that they were meant to live by keeping more of their hard-earned dollars working for them. So today we're going to answer why you've likely never heard of the infinite banking concept and what that means for your family's financial future. So the number one thing that I hear when people first find me, whether it's on social media or here on YouTube, they wonder why they haven't heard of infinite banking before today. To answer that, I want you to think about a couple questions. So who profits most from how you handle your money? Universities, financial media, big fund managers, and commercial banks are all part of a system that benefits from you staying in the status quo. Most education is shaped by incentives, sales commissions, product pipelines, marketing that nudges you toward being in the market products, rather than a holistic concept that keeps wealth in your control. So when you're relying on someone that works for a bank or someone who works for the media or any of these other institutions, you're really dependent on what they are making money on and not you. So if you're relying on traditional channels for financial education, you're often learning to rely on somebody else's spreadsheet. It's less aligned with autonomy and stewardship and more based on making them a commission. See, and the infinite banking concept reframes money as a tool that you control inside your own system, funded with a policy that you own and you control the access. A lot of people wonder why their regular insurance agent down the road hasn't told them about the infinite banking concept, or they don't tell them about these products that we can design so that they have this control. And the reason is they're just simply not taught. They don't know it. This isn't something that is taught in any of the literature when you're studying for your life insurance license. It's certainly not something that is on the minds of these big insurance companies. Some have grown to realize that their clients are using this as an infinite banking policy. And those companies are really the ones that I like to work with the most because they understand the way that we're utilizing these products to make them work for the family's needs. Often the insurers' head offices don't even understand how this works. See, if the people who sell the policies don't fully understand the philosophy and the math behind it, can you really rely on them to guide you in how to use it? Unfortunately, your understanding matters because the design of the policy requires precise structuring. The policy type, how the dividends and participation features are used, how you're funding your premiums, and the loan mechanics are all things that have to be looked at holistically. That's why it's important to work with an authorized infinite banking practitioner who's received special training in how this works. And we know the ins and outs. We've been there, we have the experience. Most importantly, we are doing this ourselves. So if you are looking for someone to help you set up an infinite banking system, policies that are structured with infinite banking as the purpose, then it's really important that that person is already practicing what they preach and that they are using this in their own lives. See, an authorized infinite banking practitioner spends time understanding your entire picture. We don't use one-size-fits-all solutions. We look at your family needs, your business cycles, your tax considerations, and your risk tolerance. And we look at a holistic view of your finances and help you come up with a system that was going to work for you. So a lot of clients come to me after their regular insurance agent has set them up with some kind of insurance, typically term, and they're angry that they didn't know about this concept before and that their regular broker didn't tell them about it. So often insurance brokers stick with the sale that's the easiest, and that is unfortunately the one that's the cheapest today. It's a set it and forget it. They only need to keep reminding you when your term is up to move you into another one. The trouble with this is when you're paying the least amount of dollars, that's the least amount of dollars today. Spread over your lifetime, it's going to increase every single time that term comes up. It's going to increase more. Eventually, it'll increase to the point that you need to cancel that policy or switch insurers. When that happens, you may or may not qualify for more insurance again. The costs will still become astronomical through the roof to the point that most people cancel them. When we're talking about permanent insurance, specifically dividend-paying whole life insurance, we're talking about a product where the payments are spread out through your whole lifetime. When they're spread out over that lifetime, we're going to say over 100 years, the payments are a lot less than they would be in your 50s and 60s, but they initially are more than they would be when you're in your 20s because you have such a long runway. That doesn't mean that your insurance broker is a bad person. It just means that they are doing their job. Most people that come to them are looking for the most death benefit for the least amount of dollars, and that's what they're providing. When you're working with someone who thinks in terms of the infinite banking concept and thinks in terms of building your own bank, we're going to look at value over dollars going in. We're looking at how much cash you keep control over, how much you can keep using over and over and over again for the rest of your life, and what the growth on that would look like. Why isn't everyone doing this? The truth is, this isn't for everyone. Radical control means radical responsibility. If you're someone who just wants to save into an investment account and let someone else handle your investments and hope for the best, by all means, this product probably isn't for you. If you want control over your money, you have to take the responsibility and you have to shoulder the burden of taking care of that money, stewarding it for the rest of your life. It doesn't fall on anyone else, it falls on you. And that means that you have to learn how to do it. You have to work with someone who is going to put your needs ahead of theirs and who's going to set things up for you and keep the plan moving along as life does. So many people say that they want control, but they're not willing to shoulder the responsibility that comes with it. So with the infinite banking concept, you're making strategic choices. When to fund the policy, when to borrow, how to structure your repayments, and how to plan for taxes and opportunities when they arise. Now, let's think of it this way. If you drive a car, you accept that there's maintenance you have to do. You accept that you have to buy insurance and that you have to plan to pay for fuel. With the infinite banking concept, your money is the vehicle, but you are the driver. You are responsible for where you go and how you get there. Now, just because you have this radical control does not mean that you are in it alone. You want to work with an authorized practitioner who understands how the concept works and how we can adapt it to fit your needs. We want to set up regular check-ins. We want to keep your policies documented and have written goals. We want to have a roadmap for how you are using your policy, and we want to work together to adjust for life events because life happens, and we want to make sure that your plan adjusts with it. This isn't a set it and forget it approach. It's a living strategy, and it requires ongoing stewardship, ongoing reviews, and alignment with your family's goals and values. Now let's talk for a minute because I know we've all heard that whole life insurance is a terrible investment and you should buy term and invest the difference. Here's the flaw with that. Buy term and invest the difference assumes that you're constantly outperforming a participating policy's internal rate of return. It's assuming that you're funding the gains, and most notably, it completely ignores liquidity needs and market downturns. In reality, investing the difference is uncertain. You have taxes, fees, and timing that erode the returns, and it fragments control by spreading your money across more accounts. With the infinite banking concept, you're moving the risk to the insurance company. Your policy is flexible, it's accessible, and it's tax advantaged. And it's a pool that you own and you control. You can borrow from it for opportunities, emergencies, or business needs while your money remains in the plan and continues to compound every day for the rest of your life. Clients often tell me that they wish they knew this in their 20s, 30s, even 40, 50 years ago. They tell me how drastically their lives would be different if they had had this knowledge to be able to control their own banking system from the time that they were young. Let's look at this in action. So this is Sarah. She's a 40-year-old Canadian mom and entrepreneur. She has 2 kids, and she funds money into her policy every single month. Now, when her daughter needed braces and her business took a cash flow dip, she borrowed from her policy, and she didn't have to scramble for high-interest loans. She kept control, and she still earned dividends. The plan powered through even though life happened and took little detours. See, this isn't a do-it-yourself experiment. The infinite banking concept requires a tailored, accountable design that coordinates with your tax needs, your insurance needs, and your family's goals. When you're working with an authorized practitioner, we diagnose your situation. We know how to avoid common pitfalls, and we structure a policy aligned with your needs and your goals. We ensure that we're compliant with tax laws and insurance nuances, and we know our products inside and out. So what can it look like when we work together? Well, first we're going to sit down and we're going to get to know each other. I want to know about your family. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know how you got where you're at and where you want to be in the future. Not just 5 years from now, not just 10 years from now, but I want the whole future. I want to know what you want that roadmap to look like, and I want to be the person to help you get there. We're going to sit down and we're going to set up a properly structured system that's going to help you get to those goals. And we're going to meet regularly so that we can review your plan and make sure that what we're doing today is aligning with those future goals. As life happens, we'll adjust your plan. So if you're serious about financial peace, autonomy, and a plan that grows with you, the infinite banking concept can be a central pillar, rooted in your faith, your family, your stewardship, and most importantly, your freedom. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this episode helpful, please give it a like and hit subscribe. When you're ready to take the next step, click the link in the description to access my free resources and book a call to start. Your future self will thank you. Until next time, live free.